right, cool. Let me give it a little bit of tea. Make sure I'm energized and good to go. Make sure that's working there. And there we go. All right, we are live. Cool. All right, let's see if anyone's on live here. Nope. All right, cool. All right, so we're good to get started. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the Dream 100. Now, you might be asking, like, what is the Dream 100? Where did this come from? So let me give you a little bit of back history on it, and then I'll go over it in depth. I'm sorry, in kind of an overview, and then what I'll do is go through that overview and then go in more depth and detail, on each one. So you can kind of get an idea with the strategy if you like it, and if you like it, you can keep watching the video and you can learn more about it, and then I'll teach you exactly how to go through it and how to implement it. Good. All right. So where did the Dream 100 come from? Well, it actually came from this book right here. And actually, this is the Dream 100 book. This is authored by a gentleman named Dana Derricks. Dana Derricks is part of the ClickFunnels and the funnel hacking community. Has done really, really well. Has sold millions and millions of dollars worth of books and courses, private training and courses and things like that. So he's doing really, really well. And he's actually developed this on his own, but it's also part of another process which he kind of took it on his own, and then developed it a little bit better. So that's what we're going to be covering today. So what is the Dream 100? You don't have to read the whole book. If you want to, of course, I'll put a link how you can get the book. But let me go through the book really quickly and exactly show you how this is going to work in overview. So first of all, what you need to do to get started with it is first identify someone that has a direct link and an authority in an expert status in the industry that you want to target, right? So your target market. Who is this person, and what are they? And who is this person, and what kind of affiliation do they have with your target market? Cool. All right. So basically, we want to identify this person. Right, so we first want to identify this person. Who is this person that has some sort of expert status in your target market already? So once we identify this person, we're going to go ahead and try to build a relationship with them. Now, a lot of times this person isn't motivated by money or financial gain. They are motivated by helping out their tribe and helping their build their expert authority and expert status. So what they're looking for is they're looking for content, they're looking for offers, and they're looking at other experts that can help their audience, right? I hope that makes sense. So think of really, really quickly, we go through this. Think of you have a podcast, right? And you're on episode 1,527 of your podcast. So you've gone through, you've already established the audience, you've already got people that are listening to it, you've got an established audience. But you've probably gone through quite a lot of guests, right? I'm assuming more than 500 or 1,000 different guests. So someone that's running a podcast like that, well, what do they probably need? They probably need more guests or more content. After a while, you start to run out of content. So if you've done, 1,500 or more podcast episodes, you've probably got a lot of content already covered in your podcast, right? So if you could reach out to that person and say, hey, I'd love to be a guest on your podcast, or I'd love to, give some sort of offer or some sort of value to your community, to your tribe, what would that look like? And how can you help them do that? So that's what you want to do, is you want to come from a place of value and communicate with that person. That once you identify that person, how can you provide value to them, and how can you provide value to their community? And like I said, for most people in this situation, they're not motivated by money or finances. So if you just say, hey, I want to pay you X to get in front of your tribe or your group, they're probably going to say no, right? But that's where the value comes in. So first of all, you want to identify this person, and then how can you create value? So you always, always, always want to lead with value. And then you want to start building that relationship. So how do you build that relationship with that person? Well, maybe you go where they go, right? If they're local, you could go, if they go to a local networking meeting, well, then go to that networking meeting. If they go to a restaurant, we'll go to that restaurant and try to bump into them and casually kind of try to have that conversation, start that conversation. If they have a podcast, you can listen to their podcast. If they do, I don't know, whatever, right? So that's the thing, is try to find out where they are and build that relationship organically. You can also send them things in the mail. right? So that's what Dana Derricks did, and what he covers in his book is he actually said, "Hey, I want a college scholarship for football." So what he did was he created a demo reel, he created a hit reel or a highlight reel of his football plays, and he mailed them out to college recruiters, right? People that he knew that could get him uh, a a college scholarship for football, right? So that's what he did is he figured out who these people were and he sent them something. So some of the fun things is if you can find out who this person is and what they like, you can send them something fun in the mail, something like lumpy mail, and if someone gets a package in the mail, they're more open to open the package before a letter, right? A basic standard A10 envelope. So the thing is, you kind of have to learn more about that person. Let me give you a great example. Let's say you want to get in front of entrepreneurs that are starting up their business and maybe they like affiliate marketing or podcasting, right? So maybe your target market is digital entrepreneurs that are focused on podcasting. Well, there's a great example of a person that does that. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. Anyway, it'll probably come to me in a second. But anyway, he really likes Back to the Future. So if you found a Hot Wheels Back to the Future car and you mail that to him along with a letter saying, hey, this is how I want to provide value to your group. I want to help them with tax savings and tax planning. Can I come on your podcast? Can I be a guest? Can I be an XYZ? By the way, saw this car. I heard that you really like Back to the Future, and I wanted to send this to you. Right? I thought this was pretty cool. I wanted to share it with you. Things like that, right? So what you're doing is you're building a relationship with somebody without a tit for tat. You're not saying, hey, you have to do this and I'm going to give you this, right? You're just building a relationship and getting to know that person. So first of all, you identify the person, you want to build value, then you want to build a relationship. And then you want to say, how can I provide value to your tribe and your group, and how do you do that, right? And then that's essentially your next part is then how do you distribute that, or how do you send out that information? So relationship and then distribute. All right, and who knows, they might say, hey, that sounds great. Let's jump on a webinar. Let's jump on a 60-minute webinar in front of your group or your tribe, and hey, then you can talk about what you do and the benefits that they're going to have to that group. All right, I hope that makes sense. So let's do a quick recap of that, and then we'll go into each of these in more depth and detail and see how they're going to help out your business. So first of all, what is the Dream 100 and why we're going to do it? Well, essentially, we're going to do it because if you just send out cold emails, or if you just send out Facebook ads or something like that, and you reach 1,000 people, the chances of all those 1,000 people considering working with you or even giving you the time of day really is pretty low. But if you can get in front of the right person with the right audience, right? So let's say the digital entrepreneurs with the podcasters, right? And he says, hey, I want to invite you onto a podcast. I'm going to interview you on one of my podcasts. Well, he's already got an audience of at least 1,000 people, maybe 10 or 20,000 people, or at least 1,000 people are going to listen to that. So when they listen to it, they're going to be like, hey, this is great information. This guy Jake, or they say, hey, this guy Jake, he sent me all this great tax information, ways I can save money on taxes. I'm going to go to his website. I'm going to learn more about him. And hey, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to go ahead and book a call with him to see how he can help me out, and maybe hire him as a tax preparer or a tax strategist, things like that, right? So that's the thing is what you're doing is you're saying, hey, instead of spending thousands and thousands of dollars on marketing or XYZ on this and that, you're saying, hey, this person has the ideal audience that I have. They have the same ICA or ideal client avatar, I hate that word avatar, and target market as I do. So instead of me trying to create my own pond or trying to find that pond, right? Why don't I just have this person's pond, which they've already created and they've already stocked full of fish? I'm just going to go to this pond and fish in their pond, right? So think of it like there's actually some reservoirs or some ponds or some areas where they've actually paid, or they put like fish in there, and then you pay to go fishing there, so it's easier to fish there because they've stocked that pond full of fish. It's the exact same thing. I love my fishing analogy when it comes to marketing, right? So that's the thing is you identify these people who are going to be focused on your target market, and then you create value, right? How are you going to create value to their group, to their tribe, to their whatever? How are you going to provide value without being salesy? because that's really important. You want to say, hey, how can I provide value without knowing that there's going to be any financial reward or with any direct financial reward? Of course, there's going to be financial reward down the road because everyone needs to have their taxes done. So someone somewhere is going to see that and reach out to you because everyone needs to have their taxes done, right? And everyone wants to save money on their taxes. So that's where the value comes in. Then you build out the relationship. Okay, building out the relationship, sending them things, meeting with them, building out the relationship. Is it going to happen the first contact? It might. Maybe it takes 3 or 5 or 10 different contacts. It depends on who that person is, how big of an influence they are, how big their expert status is, all those things, right? And then how do you distribute your information or your knowledge to their group? Cool. So I hope that makes sense. Sarah has a quick comment here. That's so smart about the car and sending an item. It's really personalizing. I heard Russell Brunson would send those cards that let you send a voice message in a greeting card. Yeah, so that's a great example. So there's some greeting cards that you open up and it has a voice message, or you can read the story or whatnot. So yeah, little things like that. Any way you can personalize it, which is so much better. And that's the thing, is you can do this digital, you can do this electronically, like through Facebook Messenger. You can send a video, just go record a video on your Facebook Messenger and then send that to them, or a voice note. Voice notes are so much more personal than just text, right? So having that first conversation as a video, so they know you, they see you, and they're like, hey, this person's pretty cool. Thanks for doing a quick video for me. And that's the thing, is you really, really want to build out that relationship. All right, so Marlican, we've got you on. Do you want to jump on and we'll go through this for you? Let me unmute you and Marlican, do you want to go through this for you?
I'm not in a position to do that today. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize you could hear me. I'm actually sitting in a public place, so I won't be able to do it right now.
All right. So have you figured out target market yet, or do you know who your ideal client is?
Yeah, based on our last time doing it live, I still want to pursue nurses, maybe pharmacists as well. I'm trying to kind of find, since I'm so close to the university, I kind of want to target those kind of professions.
Sorry, I didn't get all that.
Yeah, I said, I think I need to switch my audio to the phone because I'm on the internet. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, or if you just want to put it in the chat or whatever, just if you have a target market or someone you want to be working with. Yeah. All right. So we'll give him a second to come back on. The gentleman that I was just thinking of was Pat Flynn. So Pat Flynn, if you want to look him up, it's I think his company and website is Smart Passive Income. So Pat Flynn. So if you want to look him up and do a Google search, I just looked him up really quick. He's an entrepreneur, blogger, and podcaster. Smart Passive Income. So if you're like, hey, I work with, my target market is digital entrepreneurs that are focused on passive income. Well, hey, here you go, right? Pat Flynn, his company, he blogs and podcasts about Smart Passive Income. That's his company's name. So the thing is, you could find this person. I don't know exactly how many people he has in his network or in his tribe or in his courses or groups or whatnot. But you could reach out to him and you can say, hey, I would love to do an interview with you about tax savings for your group, XYZ. And you never know how that relationship.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, man.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry, I had to call in. I had to disconnect the internet audio and call in.
All right. So yeah, do you have a target market that you want to work with, or someone that you're like?
Right.
Like
nurses. Yeah, nurses are the target market that I like to work with.
Okay. And then, did you have another one or a second?
Pharmacists will be the second target market.
Okay. All right. Cool. So let's jump on pharmacists. I'm gonna go and mute you because the audio is kind of crackly. But let me do this for pharmacists for you. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Cool. All right. And then anyone else that's live, just go ahead and put in the comments what you want me to cover, and I'll go through this for you. Right. So pharmacists. Let me do a quick. Pharmacists. All right, so pharmacists, pharmacist coach. I'm just going to put right here. So that's the first thing to do is maybe you want to look for coach for pharmacist. How, let's see. All right, so I just looked up pharmacist coach. The first one of the, I think it was 4 or 5 done on Google. The Happy Pharm D. Right, so there's a website called the Happy Pharm D, helping pharmacists create inspiring work and lives. They probably have a tribe of pharmacists, right? There's probably pharmacists that get information from that website about what? Creating inspiring work and lives. They've got information there about free training. And hey, they've got a blog, right? So here we go. So free training. What you'll discover during the training, secret number 1, secret number 2, secret number 3. Hey, that looks familiar. Who's got 3 secrets? That's the perfect webinar. So Alex Barker, he's the Happy Pharm D founder. He's got a webinar, probably a 60-minute webinar, probably pitches some sort of course or some sort of training or some sort of something, right? So, hey, this would be a great person to contact with, right? So the website is thehappypharmd.com. He is Alex Barker, the Happy Pharm D founder. And he's got, he's basically a webinar where he's trying to sell something to pharmacists, right? So there you go. So I just identified this guy. So pharmacist, right? So pharma, and then Alex Barker. Okay, so how can you create value for him? How can you say, so he's probably selling some sort of like a course or some sort of training or some sort of something because he's got a webinar on his website. So he's probably got something geared for pharmacists, right? Now, because he's got the 3 secrets, I know that he's using the perfect webinar formula, which was generated or created by Russell Brunson. So more than likely at the end of his webinar, he's got a stack of value. So he's like, hey, join this course now or join this training now. You're going to get this. And there's going to be 2 or 3 bonuses at the end. So here you go. What you can do is you can reach out to Alex and you can say, hey, I'd love to create a content piece on tax strategy and tax savings for your course. And what they're going to do is then you can say, hey, you can use this to create a new bonus for your course and have more value to your course. He's also got a blog. So hey, I'm more than happy to co-write a blog article with you or write a blog article with you if you can give me access to your tribe or your team or your group or whoever they have access to, they have the expert status to. Right? That's what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, you've got a blog already set up. We're going to go ahead and give you more information about, or give you more content so you can put more content on your blog. Right? That's the thing. So the value, so you can give them a bonus to his course, right? You can give him blog articles. He might actually, during his webinar, when you register for his webinar, he asks for your email address. So he's probably got some sort of email campaign going out. So you can say, hey, Alex, I'd love to talk to you about doing a $79 course or a $99 training or something like that for your group, right? To help them learn more about their taxes or tax savings, right? The end of the year is coming up. We can schedule this in a couple weeks and they can learn the 5 things that they should do to help them save money on taxes before the end of the year. Hey, that's a great idea, right? I mean, it's so much fuel. And they're like, hey, that's great. You've got your title, you've got the blog already. This is going to be relevant to my audience. My audience is really going to like this. Say, let's, if we charge $99 for the training, let's split it 50-50. They're like, hey, I'm going to make money off this too. That's the thing, is that's what you're doing with this strategy. So building out the relationship, how long is it going to take you to build that relationship? Well, hopefully not that long, because if you want to try to get these tax savings in by the end of the year, hopefully it doesn't take a long time to build that relationship. But how would you build out the relationship with him? Well, you've got his name, right? You've got Alex Barker. You can look them up on LinkedIn. You can look him on Facebook. Maybe you look him up on Facebook and you find out that he's got, 3 kids between the ages of 7 and 11. So you can say, hey, I got kids between 7 and 11. I notice you live in San Francisco Bay Area. That's where I live. We really enjoy a trip to the zoo. Here's an elephant or something like that. And I know how much, my kid, or maybe he's got pictures of him taking the kids to the zoo, right? So you put an elephant in there, you say, hey, I really enjoy taking my kids to the zoo as well. Here's an elephant that we picked up last time at the zoo. I thought this was interesting, right? And what you're doing is you're creating that connection with that person or building the relationship. And that's the thing. This is a personalized thing that someone's not going to overlook, right? It's not just a form letter. It's not just a sales letter. It's not just a template that you took and printed it out and put it in an envelope and then just gave it to them, right? It's something very, very personalized. So your relationship is, again, personalized. I'm not going to look him up. That's going to take a little bit longer, but that's really essentially what you want to do is you want to personalize that. And then how you distribute that? Well, you can do a training, right? So you can do maybe like a $99 training, right? Or you can give some sort of bonus to his course. He can do an email, right? He can do a blog article, right? How do you want to get this information out? Article, right? How do you get this? How do you disseminate? How do you distribute this information to that list, to these people that he already has access to, that he's already positioned himself as an expert to, right? So I hope that makes sense. All right. So John, Sarah, if you guys want to jump in, Osama, we got a couple people who are on live. So if you guys are on live and you want to watch this, if you want to go through this, let me know who are your, who's your target, and let's go through this with you, right? All right, let me do the other one, the Pat Flynn that I just mentioned, because I can do that a little bit more articulated. Let's see here. And then if you want to type in who your target market is, if you're watching your live or on the replay, just put replay, who your target market is. We'll go ahead and do this for you, right? Let's see here. Okay, so let's do Pat Flynn, right? So say that your target market is passive income. So digital entrepreneurs for passive income. Right? And so who's the best guy? Pat Flynn. Pat Flynn. Right? What kind of value can you provide? Well, if he doesn't have someone that he's currently working with as a CPA, or someone that's coming and talk about tax strategy, tax savings, that's the thing. Right? So what's the value that you can provide to his tribe, to his members? Tax savings, tax planning. What are the 5 things? What are the 10 things that you can do before the year is up to save money on taxes? Something like that, right? So I'm just gonna put tax savings. How do you do that, right? All right, so how do you build a relationship with him? Well, like I said, I've been following Pat for a number of years, so I know that Pat really likes Back to the Future. So, in that case, you could do like a Hot Wheels car, right? Maybe find a Back to the Future's Hot Wheel car, all right? Or maybe you find, something on eBay, right? It's like a rare Back to the Future thing that costs you 10, 15, 20, 30 bucks, right? So you buy something that they like, right? And then send it to them. Send them with a personalized letter. Hey, I'd love to talk with you, get some time on your calendar. I know you're really busy. Let's have this conversation. I, saw this and I was thinking of you, right? I know you like this. Just wanted to send this to you, right? And that's the thing is it's showing someone that you really have learned about them, right? They're basically the information they put out about themselves on social media. You've taken that, you've consumed it, you've processed it, and you've said, hey, this person would like this, or let's do this for this person. Maybe it's tickets to something too. That's pretty cool. You can say, hey, I know you're busy. You probably wouldn't go out and buy tickets, for yourself to take your kids to the zoo. Here's some, here's just tickets to the zoo or something like that, right? Or a play or something like that, right? So you can say, oh, maybe they really like this. So that's the thing is you want to figure out this personalized, how do you build this relationship? And in his case, like I said, he really likes the Back to the Future. So I'm just going to put movies, Back to the Future, whatever, right? All right. So how do you distribute the content? Again, the same thing. You could do like say, hey, I'd love to collaborate with you on some training materials, a way that we can provide value to your group, to your tribe, whatever they call it. If they say tribe, like Seth Godin, he uses the word tribe a lot. So if you're reaching out to Seth Godin, you want to use the word tribe, not group, right? And then you want to see kind of how they're referring to their group, to their people, to the people that they're an expert to. You want to make sure that you're using the same and articulating the same language, again, personalized, because this is really, really important. And then how do you distribute it? Well, it's basically the same thing, right? He probably blogs. He probably has bonuses to his courses and trainings and things like that. Or you could probably just do an email out and say, hey guys, here's a quick training that we're going to do, $99 to learn about tax savings or things you need to do tax-wise before the end of the year. I hope that makes sense. So feel free to use any of that stuff, right? Because this is all things that you can do and ways that you can build value with these people. So you might be asking, okay, Jake, how long does this take? Is this worth it? Should I be doing this? I like this idea, but, right? So how long does it take? Well, I looked up this pharmacist guy, this Alex Barker, in like a minute, right? Less than a minute it took me. So how do I do that? I go on Facebook, I go on LinkedIn, I see what he's posting about, what's making him different. Maybe he's got a website about himself or an about me page. And you can say, hey, you know, who is this person and what he's got, right? Did my sound drop? You can't hear me? Oh, shoot. All right. I think I was on the wrong mic. Can everyone hear me okay? Can you hear me? Yeah? Hear me? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Sorry about that. I was on the wrong microphone. I actually had a different mic plugged in. So this is probably going to be much better sound quality now. And I'll probably have to re-record this video. All right. Okay, Sarah said it was from the Zoom. Okay, that's better now. Okay, cool. All right, so is this worth it? Should you be doing this? Yeah, right? Because if you can target this person, spend 5, 10, 20 minutes trying to figure out who this person is and just find one person. So why did Dana Derricks call it the Dream 100? Well, he actually did this for 100 people, right? 100 people. And you're like, whoa, gosh, 100 people. Well, if you do that, it really challenges you to think outside the box and to do a lot of research into this. So do I recommend doing a Dream 100 and trying to get 100 of these people? No, right? I probably just say, just pick 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. Because the thing is you're going to get really, really good results just if you can get one in front of one person, right? And you don't need hundreds and thousands of people on your email list. You don't need hundreds and thousands of people going to your website and learning more about you. You really only need 5 or 10 a month to bring in 5 or 10 good quality leads every single month. And for most of us and tax professionals, accountants, 1 to 5 new clients a month is pretty darn good, right? We don't want to overload ourselves, bring on too much. So should you go to do like 100 of these guys? No, right? That's way too much. Just focus with a handful, right? Just like I said, just maybe 1 or 2, 5 or 10 at the most, and learn more about them. Learn more about the value that you can bring. Build those things out, have that dialogue, try to build that relationship with that person. And like I said, some people, they might say, hey, yeah, I'm looking for, I had a guest drop out for next week's podcast. I need a guest next week. Can you do that? And you're like, yeah, that's great. Let's go ahead and do that. And there's gonna be some people like, no, I'm booked out for 3 months. Hey, I'll reach out to you in 3 months. And you're like, okay, that's great. And just make sure, even if someone says, hey, I'm too busy to talk to you for the next 3 months, continue to drip content on them, right? So send them. So let's say, they really like flying Delta Airlines, right? So send them a little Delta Airlines, model airplane, or do a, make sure you're keeping up on Google and you do a Google search for Delta Airlines every couple of days. And if something happens with Delta Airline, you can, send them something. Great example, right? Let's say someone just saw, or let's say someone that you're targeting just saw that they have a brand new Chevy Corvette out, and it's a brand new C8 Corvette. It's really cool because they've moved the engine from the front of the car to the middle of the car, right? And it's a brand new Corvette. It's a brand new design. Everyone's like really excited about it. But GM, or the maker of Chevy Corvette, right? They are on strike. So there's a chance that they could push back or delay the sending these out or having these available to dealerships. So there's a little thing like that. You could send them an email saying, hey, just to let you know this is happening, or hey, I saw this article and I was thinking of you. If you've got your brand new Chevy Corvette on order, I hope this doesn't delay your order, right? I hope this doesn't delay your gratification or delay your enjoyment of enjoying your brand new Corvette, things like that, right? So you're like, if they said, hey, I'm getting a new Corvette, you can say, hey, oh, cool. I've noticed that they do this, right? That they move the engine from here to here. Hey, it's a brand new design. Hey, it looks really cool. Hey, I really like that too. Hey, I noticed this. I saw this article, things like that, right? So I hope that makes sense. And I know that was pretty specific and granular, but you can see having that conversation, developing that relationship with that person can really take some granular development, right? And after you send them a couple of these things, like I said, with most marketing takes 7 to 20 or more touches. So after 7 to 20 touches, you might be feeling like, oh my gosh, is this person ever going to respond to me? You know, do they really care about me? Do they really want to build value with me? Well, they might, right? They may take 15 or 20 touches, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, you know, then they reply back to you, you know, hey, I was just thinking that, right? I was just thinking, hey, I just, you know, thanks for sending me that article. That was really cool. I hope that doesn't delay my Corvette or whatever, right? And hey, by the way, you know, I do need some XYZ, or hey, we can send that out. You know, send me a proposal or send me something that I can look at, that I can decide if I want to share that with my tribe or my group. So I hope that makes sense for you. So let me know down in the comments if you want to do this, if you like this strategy. And yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about this, because I'm more than happy to walk you through this in more depth and detail. And again, I'll send you the link for the book, and then I think there's a webinar, some training that comes with it too, if you really, really like this. And is this a lot easier than doing marketing? Yeah, it's a lot easier, because when you can piggyback yourself off an expert and say, hey, this person already has their tribe and their group, they're already an expert to these people, they already have a list established, they already have their own pond, you're just fishing in their pond. And it makes it really easy because they're helping you fish in their pond, right? If they send an email out to their email list that they're an expert for, they're going to say, hey, you got to listen to Jake because he's going to help you save tons of money on your taxes this year. Oh man, really? Right? And then basically what he's done is he's just warmed up that audience for you, which is already a warm audience for him. Okay. Sarah says, so pick a really specific type of person and then get to know them well. Go where they are and speak their language. Yes, exactly right. So, and you want to do this for no more than, 10 people. So figure out who you want to target, who has the people that you want to target, and get access to them. I'll give you another example here because I just feel like I can give more examples. So in my case, my training and my courses are focused on tax preparers, right, and CPAs and people that are providing tax services to clients. So what do all tax preparers and most specifically enrolled agents and CPAs need? Every year they need a number of hours of CE or CPE credit. So what I could do is I could go and find someone that is providing CPE credit to tax professionals, right? So there's a website called cpaacademy.com, .org, something like that. And that's what they do is they provide free CPE to enrolled agents and CPAs. So, hey, that's a dream 100 person for me. Is there someone there that I can reach out to that says, hey, I would love to do a webinar on marketing strategies for CPAs, and can I do a webinar for your audience that you already built? There you go, right? So what I've done is I said, okay, who do I want to get in front of? Tax professionals, CPAs, enrolled agents. Who is this person? Well, there's a company, I think it's Alex Zarek or some Zarek, CPA Academy, right? You got, hey, he does free CPE, free CE webinars, right? So hey, reach out to him. How can I do a webinar for you? And then I instantly get access to hundreds to thousands of people that are going to watch my free training, my marketing webinar to help them with marketing. Yeah, right. That makes sense. So I hope that makes sense for you. So what's the value that I'm doing? What's the value that I'm bringing? I'm bringing information about how tax professionals can market their business better, right? The same thing that I'm helping you with. How can I build that relationship with? Well, I might not even have to build a relationship with them. Maybe they say, yeah, we've got people that ask about that all the time. All you have to do is submit a webinar. We review it. We contact you back. We schedule a time and we're done, right? Oh, really? Yeah. So there might not even be a relationship to be able to get access to hundreds of thousands of people. There might not be any relationship that you need to build, right? Or maybe they say, hey, yeah, we do webinars and you got to pay $1,000. And you're like, hey, I'll pay $1,000 to get in front of 1,000 people. That's pretty good return on ad spend, right? Or return on spend. How do you distribute it? Well, in that case, it would be a webinar. Cool. So Sarah says you could look for these people in groups. I love Facebook groups for getting connections. Yeah, so you can easily look through Facebook groups. Again, the Facebook groups that are targeted to your to your target market, to your ideal client. And what you can do is you can say, hey, let's look at these groups that are focused on a person. Who is the person that leads the group or moderates the group, or they're an admin of the group? Is there a person that's created this group to try to sell something? A lot of groups are created that way. So you can then reach out to that person and say, hey, I'd love to do a co-offer with you, or I'd love to be able to offer some value to your group. How do I do that? And they might say, well, we need to see you kind of warm up to the group first. We can't just drop an offer. Maybe you need to spend a couple weeks building the value inside the group. So you can go into Facebook groups and you can just do what? You can just create value, create value, create value, create value. So the same way that I showed you in the Facebook groups how to create value to sell your own thing, well, you can create value in other people's group, and then you can reach out to that group owner and you can say, hey, I'd love for you, because you already have the expert status, I'd love to partner with you in launching an offer to your group. How do you feel about that? Right? And that's the thing is after a while, you've already created that value, so they see that you have the capability and capacity for providing value to their group, their Facebook group in this case. And they'd be like, yeah, it just makes sense. Let's run some things by me. How can you provide value to the group? And I can monetize it and get some financial benefit from it too. Hey, that sounds great, right? It's a win-win-win for everybody. And that's really the thing. And what I want to leave you with is the final key to this, and the final piece to this is make sure it's win-win-win. A win for you, a win for them, and a win for the audience. All right. So thanks so much for joining me here on the Dream 100 video, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.